Imagine for a moment you survived the Holocaust. I have a friend, Sally Ganner. He's an amazing guy. In fact, because of him, my family, probably hundreds of thousands of people are alive. He's the famous kid that made the connection to the Japanese Consul General Shukahara. And because of him, 5,000 Jews got visas. From those 5,000 Jews, just in my family alone, there's at least 150. Imagine how many Jews are alive. This year, Sally's not a happy camper. He's going to be making the Seder alone. Now, I'm not saying that this is for Sally. What I am saying is that there are thousands of Holocaust survivors. There are thousands of poor people in Israel. And there's one organization chosen by the Israeli government to care for these people. And that is the organization I support, the oldest charity in Israel, over 200 years old, Kollel Chabad. The government of Israel, due to COVID, has requested, in addition to the typical 25,000 families that they helped before Passover, to give to 30,000 families. There are 100,000 families in need, below the poverty line, 100,000 people. There's 800,000 children living below the poverty line. It's unbelievable. Now imagine living below the poverty line. You hardly have money for food, and now you have this. 80% of the poor in Israel are working poor. The cost of a home is 50% of the average person's salary. It's a disaster. And so I beg you now, join me in giving. I'm not a wealthy person. In fact, I have very little money. When I had money, I gave them a lot more money. But I'm giving 10% of my income to this campaign. I'm begging you, please, because they now have a budget. They have to raise $3 million. The government of Israel has requested that they support 30,000 families. They're literally giving them a card. You can see a picture of the card. And this is very important. The card can only be used for food. We're literally talking about people, the poorest of the poor, getting a card to literally buy $100 worth of food for Pesach. This is nothing. This is the basics of the basics, that we have an obligation to our fellow Jews who are deeply suffering. And I know it's hard times. I know a lot of you lost a lot of money in the stock market. But if you can afford $50, please give $50. If you can afford to, and you share this, every time you share it, somebody else is going to give $50. If you just share it, someone's going to give $50. My campaign is here to raise $50,000 for this very critical mitzvah. So please, join me right now, right this second. Give $50, share the campaign. If you can't give $50, share the campaign. We will support our brothers and sisters, Holocaust survivors, having at least a little bit of joy this Pesach. And may the Mashiach very now come, and may we be in Israel all together, and may we celebrate with the Mashiach and only have joy and love and unity forever.